What is up, riders? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have another BWS 100 which has never been modified before, super clean, but we're going to modify it with some nice Malossi parts. So let's get into it.
SOS, thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip for tat on the internet. We don't do that. See, I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that. Wait, I'm cashing checks. I don't owe no debts. I've been through that. See you SOS, SOS, SOS. See you SOS. Need a life vest. Need no mic check. SOS, SOS, SOS. See you SOS. We don't talk checks. We get to it.
Okay, here she is. We're gonna take her on the stock ride and check how she handles. I haven't started it. It's probably gonna be a very cold start, so let's see. Easy. Still feels tight. You know, some BWS's when they've been used and abused, they're quite loose, and this is still liquor tight, so feels good. Okay, let's go. Alright. Oh, the clutch had a bit of a jump there and then bogged. But it's feeling good. Just warming it up still. Feels like a solid BWS. So what I want to do is I want to get a good kind of measurement for the stock bike. Remember, we haven't touched this thing, we haven't done anything to it yet. We haven't even serviced it. What we do want to do is check what the 0 to 60 and hopefully 0 to 100. We all know once these things age, they kind of struggle to get to 100. You're looking at about 95, 90, especially with us South Africans being big boys. We love to, you know, reach the maximum capacity. I honestly think the maximum capacity on the scooter is 120. That's with a passenger, which I think is insane. It's kind of a guideline, but nonetheless I want to see how quick we can do a 0 to 60, and then after we install all the cool parts we can do another test and see, because I know a lot of you guys want to know sort of what the differences are and what you're gaining from these parts. But for now, this will just be a decent acceleration up the hill and over, so that I'm flat out now, so rollers might be a little too heavy, but we're passing people. We're climbing 60 up the hill. We'll definitely get a good measurement down the hill, but let's see. I'm still flat. Still flat. Seems to be topping out at 80. I don't know if we're gonna get a 0 to 100 again. I mean, they only do 100 when they're new for the first week, I'd say. Let's get some nice flat ground and we'll see. This seems to be the good spot, so line up on the line. 0 to 60. Okay, and go. You see that bog. $40. 60. Let's see if we can get anything more. We are on a slight incline. Nah, we're not gonna get much. That's flat out. I'm flat out. And we're down a hill though, so it's a whole bend. But no, that's all she's got. Alright, well, let's head back to the workshop. We're going to do some sick mods to this, so I'll check you there.
Alright, let's check out what parts we're going to be installing. So, all complete drive components today. Starting in the front, we have the Malossi Multivar 2000. This is going to run different rollers. These are 15 by 19.5s. Are they? No. These are 19. Okay. These are 19.5 by 15. And they come with 11 grams, and we'll be using these 11 grams because we are sticking with the stock exhaust pipe. Paired with that, we are going to run the Malossi fan pulley. So they always love to put their stickers over their products, but this is the Malossi fan pulley, and this is going to match up perfectly with the Variator in the front. Going along with these two, a nice addition is a brand new Malossi Kevlar belt. This will also match the profiles. They run at the same angle. This belt works perfectly with that. It's also a great OEM replacement, so if you ever need your belt changed, Malossi is also the way to go. Moving on to the rear, we have the torque driver. So the torque driver comes with 2 extra slots. It adds longevity and performance. So we're going to be installing this. Pair that with the fixed sheave. This and the OEM fixed sheave make quite an awesome component. And then on top of that, we're going to add a Malossi Delta clutch. So over here, we've got the 107 clutch, which is going to be quite awesome. So this is a performance Delta clutch. You've got basically customization. You've got different springs that we can put in here. We've got different weights and different sort of slots we can change them into. And then with this, we've got the racing clutch bell. As you can see over here, we've got some cooling fins. This has also been balanced. It's quite awesome. So this and this will go great together. And that is the complete drive. But now I did say we're going to do a complete drive. However, we are doing one modification to the motor, and that is adding this VL14 reed valve. This reed valve is just going to have a little bit more performance, a little bit more horsepower, and yeah, this is the way to go for stage 1. Alright, now comes with the fun part, the assembly of the new Malossi parts. But before we do that, I do need to disassemble this clutch and torque driver here. There we go. It's very dusty. I think this clutch was kind of biting in too much, like you saw in the video. It is original, but it's biting in a bit funny. So we're going to be changing that out. But what we do need is we need this fixed sheave right over here. So I'm going to take this apart. Oh, yay! There we go. Ooh, I don't know if you can see there, but there's a bit of a notch. It's not smooth. All right, so let's take out these pins, see if we need to replace them, and then give this a clean. Get my long nose pliers, pop these out. Check at that. There we go. So this is the OEM one that we're going to be replacing. I don't know if you can see there, that notch is kind of not looking that great. So put that to the side, but this is the piece we're going to be reusing. So let's give it a bit of a clean, and then we can reassemble. Okay, now that everything is clean, the last thing that we do need to actually do before I forget is pop these seals out. We've got to reuse these seals. They should be fine to be reused, but we've got to pop them out to put them in the Malossi. Easy as that. Got to give them a bit of a clean as well. Get some of the residual old grease off. Now onto the brand new Malossi torque driver. We're going to slice this one open, get out all the contents, and reassemble. Manual, torque driver, the O-rings, and Malossi 7.1 grease. Awesome grease to pretty much use throughout your whole drive and even throughout your whole bike. So check that out on our website. Pop these O-rings on. There we go, nicely seated. O-rings are on. Next up, let's put in those seals. Just like that, got to make sure they're seated. Both of them looking good. We are gonna grease up this shaft and just put a little bit on here to wet it. Give it a wipe all the way around. Just like that, and then after wiping our hands and giving the Malossi torque driver a clean, so our hands are a little bit dirty, we can install just like that. Give it a wipe. No grease on this, on the faces at least. Let's slip it on. There we go, nicely greased up. Got to put on our pins now. So remember, there's two holes. We've got our grease hole that kind of pumps out the grease and lubricates this, and then you've got the hole where the actual pins go. So make sure you put them in the right slot on each side. So it's going to move like that. Before we close it up, let's grab our grease, and we're going to pump each of these slots full of grease. Pump it till it's level, just like this, and wipe away the excess. The more grease, the better, and the better longevity you'll have. Just like that, wipe away it, flush, flush, and flush. Nicely lubricated, greased up. Let's put on this collar. Now there's a trick to it, so we're gonna have to head over to the vise, so I'll check you there. So one way I find to put these collars on easily is to reuse an old collar like this one where the pin has almost pushed through. This is a better one, but we use this and we take the torque driver and its collar, that's obviously not broken, and we're going to slot it into our vise. We're just going to get a rag, protect it, and we are going to use the other collar and line it up. So let's take up the slack and just line it up perfectly and give it a twist. Just to get it over these O-rings, they struggle sometimes, but do be careful that it's not breaking the O-rings. So you want to go nice and slow, and you'll feel it pop over. Just like that. And keep going. There we go, nice and easy again. All the way down to the second O-ring until it's seated. Take it slow. Watch it. Almost there. You don't want to over tighten this, otherwise you're going to bend the fixed sheave. So just watch it and make sure it's seated. There we go. Once it's seated, that's all you need to do. Wipe away the excess grease and let's put on the clutch. Now we're on to the cool part of doing the clutch, but before we get to the clutch, we have to add the torsion spring. So this spring comes in the Multivar kit. So let's open this up, steal this out of here so we can install it. Our Malossi torsion spring, that's going to go on here, as well as the Malossi torsion controller. I didn't show you this on the unboxing, but this is a must-have if you're doing a drive install. This basically stops your spring from jumping and moving around. So this is going to go on the clutch side because you'll see it fits perfectly in the clutch side. As far as I know, you can put it on both sides, but this fits perfectly in the Malossi clutch. Speaking of the Malossi clutch, here it is. This is the 107 Delta clutch. So we're running a 107. As you can see, it fits in here quite nicely. We're running the 107 because we want to run the racing cooled bulb. So we are running this 107 bulb. The reason why we're doing that, and the reason why we do it, is the benefit of having the bulb is quite awesome. It cools it nicely. It's a racing bulb. It's differently weighted. But the 112 that comes for the BWS 100 doesn't unfortunately come with a bulb, and you have to run the stock bulb. So we give our clients the option, and it's up to you to decide. Slight difference in diameter, but it's up to your discretion and how much power we're going to be pushing. So for our application, it's going to work perfectly. So that's what we're going with. So here's our clutch bulb, looking quite good. So let's call on someone to help me put this nut on and assemble. Easy. Let's grab our massive socket, make sure it's on till it seats as much as we can by hand. Okay, and let's shoot it down. And there you have the complete clutch and bulb assembly. Moving on to the Malossi Multivar. So let's take out this and pre-assemble everything, and then we can move on to getting it installed on the bike. So this is our Malossi Multivar. It runs a much bigger roller, as you can see over here. These are Malossi 11 grams. So this is way bigger than stock, but this is the weight that you need to run if you're running a stock exhaust. So we're going to keep it in here because we're not going to upgrade the exhaust right now. And these are going to work perfectly as Malossi has tested, and kind of come to the conclusion on. Then we've got our cam and our 3 sliders, simple as that. So let's drop these in and put it all together. But before we do that, actually, we do want to clean this off. So inside here, this is self-lubricating bushing. This bushing is a different type of metal alloy that allows it to self-lubricate. So no lubrication necessary like the standard one. However, I do recommend you clean off the pin. So we're going to do that now. And back in we go. Dropping our rollers in. Just our sliders next. And that is the Variator complete. Just going to open my fan pulley here, ready for installation. So this is the other half, the Multivar. Call it basically the Ventilvar. And this fan pulley matches the profile of the Malossi drive perfectly. It also comes with a washer, which you must put on the outside. But this is the Malossi fan pulley. Look how beautiful that looks. Malossi matches the Variator perfectly. And then finally we've got the Malossi Kevlar belt. I'm going to grab this now because we are going to be installing it. This belt is Kevlar reinforced and it matches the profile of the Multivar and Ventilvar. You can use these on your OEM setup, so if you need a belt replacement, you can get one from us. Links down below. Cool, everything is sorted, ready to go on the bike. Let's check it out. Nice! Just bolt it up.
Okay guys, the drive is in now. Next thing to do is fit the VL14 reed valve. Nice and clean. Okay, cool. So we've pulled the old reed block out. We're going to stick the other one in. So the major benefit of the VL14, the petals basically open and close faster than the stock one, and also give you a higher velocity rate, and they open wider as well. So what that does is it gives you quicker acceleration, better top speed, the engine spools up faster, and your throttle response is quicker as well. So we just stick the velocity stack in. People call this a stuffer. Pretty neat. You can see the difference in the reed stops. So this has got the conventional reed stop with metal petals. These are carbon fiber petals with a flat bar reed stop. Very cool. Another thing to note is, you guys, that you don't need a gasket. You'll see this one's got a gasket, not on that side, because there's a rubber seal that fits on here, which seals up against there, and then you run a standard gasket. But this has got a built-in rubber seal, so no gaskets needed. This just goes together like that, back in the motor. Okay guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to change. This is still the stock plug cap, and you can see it's extremely loose. They always fall off. So we're going to change this to the waterproof NGK TB05 EM plug. On top of that, we're going to stick in a high voltage Motoforce racing ignition coil. So this one, standard coils are about 16 to 18,000 volts. This one's at least 30,000 volt up to 35,000 volt. Gives you a nice strong spark, nice clean burn. Let's swap out the plug caps. These are really cool plug caps. They're waterproof. We can mount this, change the plug, and then plug it all back together again. Okay guys, so this is a BP6HS, which is a bit too hot for these bikes. Standard plug is a BP7HS-10. The -10 is a wide gap. You'll see here we're busy fitting a BP8HS-10, and the reason why we're doing that is we're in a hotter climate here in Southern Africa, so we need to run a slightly colder spark plug. This would be a big problem if we carried on riding with a 6. It'll get way too hot and it will just start detonating and burn a hole in the top of the piston. So we're going to switch to the 8 and connect everything up again.
Alright, Scoot is back together. We've got the full Malossi drive, we've got the VL14 reed valve. Time to take it for a ride and see how she performs. So let's hit the road.
Alright guys, now we're going to take it for a ride after doing the full drive and the VL14 to see how it compares to the stock. So I'm quite interested to see kind of what it does. One thing I did want to show you guys is actually this one has the LED bulbs. Hard to see. So they got the LED lights. Obviously they're not working so great when it's got no load on the motor or revs on the motor, but yeah, super excited to see how well the scooter does now, so we'll take it for a ride quick. Let's go. There's no more bog on the clutch, which is quite awesome, so it just pulls now, it doesn't kind of engage and then bog, which is quite nice. We'll see now when I pull away from this road once we have a gap, but it feels a lot better. My word, so much better. Okay, no more bog, no more bog at all. My word, no more bog at all, but traffic's quite hectic here, so let's find a good spot. We're gonna do a 0 to 60 again, but look at that, straight pull. That's not even full throttle. Feels pretty good. All right, let's go find a flat spot and then do our tests. So much stronger up this hill. It's just pulling, and we got a bit of a wind against us, but still pulling. We didn't even hit 80 when we were down there. It's pretty good. Pretty good, and that was up a hill against the wind. I'm keen to see what this thing can do now. It's not going to be major. Remember, this is just a drive, so we've corrected some of the power loss to the back wheel and then only added a reed valve, which is going to give you about half a horsepower. But let's see how it does. It rides super well, and that pull away on the clutch is so much better. Oh, I just hope the wind doesn't affect us now. It shouldn't, but let's see. Let's go back to our same spot and then we'll see. Here we go. Okay, so now we'll stop on the line again. All right, so we're on the line and we're going to do a 0 to 60. I'm not sure if we'll do 100 because it's slightly up a hill there. We don't have enough time, but 0 to 60 with the new components, Malossi drive, VL14 reed valve, and the Motoforce ignition. Let's go. Bit bumpy. 60. Let's see if we can even get anything. Way faster though. But whoa, these bumps are killing me. I can't. That was pretty good. That is very fast compared to what we had. I mean, feel that pull away is so good. That pull away is insane. Before, we had a huge problem with the clutch kind of biting in too early, jumping if you might say. But I mean, this feels, look at this. Oh, this is so good. If this is the only upgrade you ever do, this is you'll be happy. It's just the torque, it's linear. Obviously when your rollers go flat, I mean, you might feel it, but this feels so good. This feels so good. I do want to see if we can try and get a top speed run. I doubt we're going to get anything crazy, but I mean, let's just try find a flat spot and see what we can kind of get. Let's go. It climbs very quickly to 60. 60 again, easy. And past. Let's see, I've got a bit of a straight road. It's 80. We struggled to get 80 last time. Yeah. Top speed is not changed that much. Alright, well, try my best, but yeah, let's head back to the workshop.
Alright, so we're back and the scooter is running phenomenally. No more bogging, no more any of that. We gained about 3 seconds from the 0 to 60. Not so much on the top end, just a little bit on the top end, but still, nonetheless, the basis of all your mods should start with the drive. And we basically accomplished what we wanted to do. Phenomenal scooter, still quite new. The drive's running great, everything's great. So if you are enjoying this type of content, remember to like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, share our videos, but we'll check you in the next one. Peace.